Have you ever heard of something that just sounded too easy and too simple that it just couldn't be true, and you just were very skeptical? And oftentimes this is really when it comes down to it, is when it comes down to health and so many different areas in our life, but especially when it comes to health, if something just sounds too simple or too easy to do, it's just something that we have a hard time believing that that's all it really takes in order to accomplish something. And so really what I want to do is just challenge you in that thought. I want to give you 3 simple things that you can do today that will help to improve your health immediately. And this is something that if you do today and you continue to do it, you're going to start to see that you're becoming more healthy for the rest of your life. And so I want to challenge you guys today. I want to jump right into those 3 things, and I want to go ahead and walk through each one of those for you. So the first thing is getting moving. Now, especially in our day and age, especially right now with the coronavirus, we are so sedentary. We're not moving, we're not going anywhere, and we're just sitting on the couch, sitting on the chairs, working on our computers, and so it's becoming so challenging for us to get moving. And so the definition of sedentary from the Webster Dictionary, it means to not be migratory. It means doing or requiring much sitting, and then just not physically being active. And so this is where it becomes so challenging for us, because we used to go to the gyms and now those are all locked down. We used to just get out of the house just to go to our car, to drive to our jobs, to get out of the car and to actually walk into our workplace. But now that's not even happening. So all of us are just really just becoming so much more sedentary, because we wake up in the morning, and oftentimes if we're not going to our office, we just wake up and go straight to a computer next to us, and we're doing very little activity. And so especially our students these days, we're already on our cell phones, we're playing video games, but then now you add class into the mix in terms of being online. We're just not getting out and doing anything nowadays. And so this is becoming a huge problem. Now, in regards to just physical activity, now the CDC says that physical inactive adults is 20 to 25% of the population, not globally, not nationally, but in California specifically. Now it can range depending on where you are. It said between 14 to 47%, which to me that's just ridiculous, 47%. But in California specifically, it's 20 to 25% of the population is really just physically inactive. Now it goes even further in actually describing what that actually means. So physical inactivity for adults is defined as non-participating in any leisure time physical activities over the last month. Okay, and that's the last month. So you're just not doing anything. You're just physically inactive. And it actually specifically says what those activities are. And it says activities such as running, walking for exercising, or even things as simple as gardening. Now that is really sad to me in terms of just the types of activities that we're just not doing. And this is something that for the entire month or the last month, 20 to 25% of the population, I'm sure it's even worse now because of the coronavirus and all the inactivity that we're having because of that, but we're just not moving, we're just not active, we're just not doing anything. And so this becomes a problem. And so the thing that I want to challenge you to do starting today is getting some walking into your life. Now, this could be from just your lunchtime break, or it could be first thing when you wake up in the morning. It could be when you come home from work, just walking every single day. And I want to challenge you. It says that you should do 150 minutes each and every week. Now, that sounds like a lot of walking, but really when you break it down to, if you just do it 5 days a week, that's only a half an hour a day of walking. Now, if you spread it out throughout the entire week, you divide that by 7, it gets even less. And so what I want to challenge you to do is just get at least 30 minutes a day of walking. Now, some of you guys can do way more than this just because you're just more active and you have more energy. But even if you can't, I want to challenge you just to at least get 30 minutes a day of walking. And here's the thing, when you start to walk, you start to do some form of exercise, even if you're running or doing gardening, man, all that stuff's going to benefit you in your health, because when you start to move, you'll start to lose weight. You'll be able to decrease in the stress that you have throughout the day from your work, from your schooling, from just whatever it is in your life. Oftentimes we can acquire a lot of stress within our life, but exercise helps to reduce that, lowering your blood pressure, but even especially in this one, improving joint mobility. Now, especially as a chiropractor, specifically to the spine and your back. Now, once we get movement into the joints, that helps to lubricate those joints, and especially in your spine. The discs within your spine, they don't have any direct blood supply in them, so they require movement to bring in nutrients, but then also to flush out toxins. And if we're not doing any of that, you're dehydrating the disc because you're not getting any new nutrients, the toxins don't get flushed out, so they break down the disc, and that's when you start to get arthritis, you start to get degeneration. They say sitting to your spine is like sugar to your teeth. If we're not moving, those joints just start to wear out just because of inactivity. So it's not because we're doing all these great huge things like running or playing basketball or backpacking. It's oftentimes mostly because we're just not doing anything. So contrary to a lot of what people believe, it really is just because of our sedentary lifestyle. So I challenge you every single day, if you can, get out at least 30 minutes a day and just go walking, find a partner, go with a buddy, just go around and do some walking, walk in the house, whatever you need to do, but just start to move. That's all I'm asking for you. Now, the second thing is to eat better. Now, this can open a huge box of different tips and diets and trends that are going on, and you can get really complicated into this, and I don't want to take away from any of those things, because oftentimes those things are very helpful and they have a lot of tools and resources that you can get into, but I want to challenge you to just make it as simple as possible. And really when it comes down to it is, if you can start to reduce the amount of processed food and increase the number of vegetables that you eat throughout the day, that is going to make a huge difference. So I want to go ahead and break this down for you, because there are some researchers that were from the University of Sao Paulo and Tufts University. They did a survey, the National Health and Nutrition Examination Survey, back in 2009 and 2010. So it's about 10 years ago, but they surveyed 9,000 people and found that 57.9% of the caloric intake from this population ate what's called ultra-processed foods. Now, what are ultra-processed foods? Now, a lot of our food is oftentimes processed. If it's raw or fresh, it's oftentimes picked right from the tree, but there is some form of processing going on. But ultra-processed foods, that includes things like the cookies, the donuts, the cereals, the fried foods. All these things have food colorings, additives, emulsifiers, and what happens is there's so much added sugar, there's so much added fat that it creates so much stress within our body, it creates a lot of inflammation within our body, which can lead to a lot of pain and discomfort and a lot of other issues. But it is one of the biggest contributors to a lot of our sicknesses and diseases, things like high blood pressure, heart disease, things like diabetes. So there's so many different things that processed foods actually create within our body. And so what I want to try to do is to reduce some of that and to increase the level of vegetables that we eat throughout our life. Now, what does that look like? You can go to the grocery store and see a huge plethora of vegetables that sometimes I don't even know what to do with them, but things like Brussels sprouts, broccoli, kale, spinach, you can get really into it. And I know a lot of these things, you're like, oh man, that sounds gross, or that sounds disgusting. This is where creativity starts to get into it, and you can go to YouTube, you can go to Google and find all these great recipes to challenge yourself to learn, okay, Brussels sprouts, how do I cook Brussels sprouts? How do I make them taste better? And try different recipes. I know it requires a little bit of work, but man, if you can just find some really great recipes, it's going to change your mind about what you think about vegetables. Even if, man, there's this recipe out there, it's like a cranberry broccoli salad. It's delicious. I can't tell you enough about it. You guys should look it up. Maybe I can find the recipe, put it down in the link below. But when it comes down to it, just start to get creative and try so many different vegetables, and try to get half of your plate to be filled with vegetables and the other half of your plate, eat whatever it is that you're already eating. But just to increase the level of vegetables that you have within your diet, that's going to be a huge difference. That actually has antioxidants within the body, and that helps to decrease the oxidative stress within your spine. Well, not just your spine, but your whole body. But it's really going to help to just make you healthier overall, because there's so many vitamins and nutrients that come with that. And this is going to help you to have more energy. It's going to help you to lose weight. It's going to help to control your cravings in your diet. There's so many benefits that come with eating more vegetables. So I want to challenge you today: reduce the level of processed foods within your diet and increase the level of vegetables that you eat throughout the day as well. So that's number 2. Now, number 3 is thinking better. Now, if you are a human or a person or a human being, you will know that oftentimes we can get so caught up in just negative thinking. I like what Zig Ziglar says. He's like, don't get caught up in stinking thinking. And so really when it comes down to it, I want to challenge you to start to think more positive. Now, I know there's a lot of stress throughout our life, whether it be finances, whether it be relationships, whether it be career, schooling, all this other stuff. So there's a lot of stress that can accumulate. But really what I want to challenge you is to make this, again, very simple. And I want to challenge you to speak out gratefulness. Now, what does that mean? I want you to start to say things out loud that you're grateful for. And so this could be from a number of different things, but I want to challenge you to at least pick 3 to 7 things every single morning when you wake up. I want to challenge you to say 3 things that you're grateful for that day. And this can go from a number of different things, like I said. So for me, for example, my family. I am grateful for my family. I am thankful for my parents and the love and the support that they have given me, the encouragement. I'm thankful for my church and my friends that have built a community to really push me to accomplish great things in my life. I am grateful for my job. Man, I can get so caught up in thinking about my career, my job, about all the stress that comes about with dealing with complaints or having to work on specific things. But man, if I can change that mindset, and this is really what I always do to my thoughts, and when I wake up in the mornings, man, I change that mindset and I think about all the people that I get to care for, all the people that I get to help, all the people that I get to serve, and I get to do those things because I love the people that I get to help, and they really do need some assistance in terms of their spine, their back, and their health. And I get to do that because I am so grateful for serving the community and being able to be part of their health journey, and it's something that I get to do. And so if I can change my mindset onto, instead of things that are negative throughout the day, and focus on more of the positive things that I get to do, it's going to make me feel a lot better. Even in terms of just things like the house that I live in, the bed that I sleep in, just the walls around me that help to create shelter. And I'm so grateful for so many different things. And this is something that if you just start to think of all the things that you're grateful for, you're going to start to reduce a lot of the stress that's in your life. And I can't tell you enough, they say that 1 out of 6 Americans take some form of psychiatric medications, according to this article that I read on NBC News, is that there's so many different types of medications that people are on because they're so stressed out, they're so anxious, they're so depressed. But when you can start to change your mindset on all the stressful things in life and start to focus on a lot of the positive things, yeah, we don't have to avoid those things or completely get them out of our life, because we just can't do that. I mean, for living beings, there's just stresses that accumulate. But if we can start to focus on the positives, and I want to challenge you to start this doing today. You can do it in the morning, or you can do it at night, or you can do it both. Just think of 3 things that you're grateful for and speak out the gratefulness that you have for them. So that's really it when it comes down to it. You guys, health is very, very simple. If you can switch your stressful thoughts into more positive thinking, if you can reduce some of the ultra processed foods and increase some of the vegetables, as well as if you can just start getting some movement and walking, that is going to help you to become healthier and live a healthier lifestyle. So I hope you guys like this video. If you like this video, click that like button. If you haven't already, please subscribe to our channel to see more videos just like this. Leave your comments below. I'd love to hear the things that you do to keep yourself healthy, and I want to hear any feedback that you guys have about what we're doing here on our channel. So thank you so much for watching. Love you guys. Catch you later. Peace.